Hello there, this is Jedi Master Daniel 96, and in today's video I will be talking about Andor Season 1 a year later. So this is more like a retrospect and all that, so let's get to it. So I've rewatched Andor Season 1 twice, and the reason why I haven't done like a year later on the other shows is mainly because I haven't had the chance to do rewatches. An Andor rewatch twice just occurred to me randomly, and then it just after the two rewatches, it just felt like, why not talk about this on the channel and all that? It just occurred to me on two rewatches and all that. So, in case you people are wondering, so that's a bit of the reasoning. So, I'll let that on a side note. But with Andor Season 1, it's a total of 12 episodes, more than the other shows, actually, where the three Mandalorian seasons have had a total of 8, and Ahsoka has had a total of 8, Book of Boba Fett had a total of 7, Obi-Wan Kenobi had a total of 6 episodes, so yeah. So each Star Wars live-action Disney Plus show has had never more than 12. So that's that bit there. With animation, the Clone Wars Season 7 had like 12 episodes, and then the Bad Batch has had 16. So, pretty much on that comparison, even when you bring the animation into the fold, the Bad Batch has more episodes than the live action shows. It is what it is, but I'm just pointing that out. I mean, so that's that bit there. And then with Andor, like, I know, like, each episode will build off one another. And I know, like, we've had in the past in Star Wars shows where people have had the debates in filler and all that. I mean, in this one, Andor, like, regardless how you feel about the word filler, Andor will build off an episode one another. Like, each arc will lead into the next sort of thing. That's how the show was structured. And hopefully, most likely, obviously, season two will probably follow this trend. Like, it'll be interesting to see how season two will build off season one and probably, tie into Rogue One and all that. So that's something to think about there. But we'll just have to wait and see on that. And whenever we get Andor season two, and all that, even though we don't have release dates for the upcoming shows and all that, but that's a discussion for another time. But yeah, you kind of get what I mean. Like, when you kind of, watch the first three episodes is kind of one arc, then the Aldani episodes, 4, 5, and 6 is one arc, and then you kind of have the seventh episode is like the aftermath of the Aldani arc leading into the Narkina 5 arc, and then the Narkina 5 arc is like one arc. And then you have the 11th episode, which builds off the prison arc, and then into the finale and all that stuff. So everything all culminates into everything with this show. Like, and that's one thing I really did enjoy about it. And I feel like if you, let's say, I don't know, to compare it to the likes of The Mandalorian, where The Mandalorian, I know people have probably criticized how it can deviate to a side quest from the main plot. Like Andor, that's not the case. And I'm not doing this to, put Andor so high on a pedestal to put the Mandalorian down. I mean, that's not what I'm here for. I'm just kind of pointing something out, like just like how Andor will build off one another in its episode, and kind of the comparing it to how the Mandalorian has sort of had some deviating side quests in the past. So I just kind of want to have that in there as well. So that's that bit there. And then, so yeah, and then you have some great moments in this show, like the Eye of Aldani. I mean, that visual was perfection. Then you have like the One Way Out. I mean, that was just perfection when they're all just breaking out of the prison and all that. And then that fight in the finale in the streets against the Empire after Marva's speech from her hologram after she died, and she says, "Fight the Empire," and all the civilians are just fighting against the Empire. It's like, picture us, all fighting the cops in the streets and all that. That's a good way to put it, I guess, like in that sort of regard. So that kind of gives you a good visual there. And I mean, this show is just perfection, from the visuals, the storytelling, the writing, the themes. Everything is just banger after banger. I mean, everything is just perfection. I mean, this is like 10 out of 10 status right here. Like, Andor is the best live action Disney Plus show, in my opinion. I mean, this is just, oh, it is beautiful. I mean, I've enjoyed the other live action shows, but when you watch Andor, it is just out of this league, man. It's just a league of its own. Because, I mean, this is just God tier, man. Like, to me, as I've been saying, like, it's pretty much, the best Star Wars we've gotten in recent times, in my opinion. I mean, if I was to rank it, it would go Andor, Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett. So that's kind of my ranking there as of now. So that's that. And another thing I also did enjoy about Andor is like the fleshing out of Mon Mothma. Like, because Mon Mothma is like a side character in different Star Wars media, and then they really just flesh her out. Like, you really expand upon things with her, like her family and stuff, like her husband, her daughter, and her cousin. So you really do get a good fleshing out there of the character, and that's probably the best I've seen out of the character of Mon Mothma. And I thought this took it to the next level there. And then Luthen, who's played by Stellan Skarsgård, I mean, he was a great character too. I just loved his complexity and how he kind of runs this, like antique shop on Coruscant as well. And then even, bringing Coruscant into this was amazing too. Like, we are kind of living in some Coruscant renaissance in the live action with Andor Season 1, The Mandalorian Season 3, and then we've had it recently in Ahsoka. So you've had that bit there with a Coruscant renaissance we're living in with these live action shows, and I did enjoy that. So that's that bit there. Even like with the themes in this, with a lot of the politics and all that, it kind of has that spy thriller aspect and all that kind of stuff. And another thing to kind of point out, when I was saying about how each episode builds on one another, when you like have that first episode, like when Cassian's in that club, and then after he leaves it in the rain, he confronts those Imperials, and then he kills them, and then that will, set things in motion for the main plot with the Empire trying to look for him and all that stuff. And then, and also there, and then another thing, we do have a post-credit scene, as in the Narkina 5 arc, in the prison arc, is they're building different things, and then in that post-credit scene, it's the construction of the first Death Star. So that kind of is another way everything will build up as well. And then even like, as in Rogue One, the first Death Star is what, kills Jyn and Cassian and the other Rogue One members on Scarif. So that's that bit there. So yeah, there are kind of things that will put things in motion. And then also, I can't wait to see how, season 2, as I said, will tie into Rogue One and build off season 1 as well. And then we even have Saw Gerrera in some episodes, which he'll talk with Luthen and all that kind of stuff. So that's that bit there, and he's kind of, one of the established characters in this. And then you have the ISB and all that stuff. And we do see Colonel Wolf Yularen in the show. And then you do have a mention of Emperor Palpatine and all that stuff. So there are some of those bits in there too. And then I would rate this 10 out of 10. And if you haven't seen Andor, what are you doing with your life? Put on Disney Plus and just watch this masterpiece of a show. It is amazing from start to finish. And that does it for me in this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, comment what you think down below. What were your thoughts on Andor Season 1? Did you love it? Were you indifferent? Did you not love it? Let me know all that down below. Share this video. Let's get to 600 subscribers. Follow me on Twitter, DanRS87, Instagram, JMD96_YT, Facebook, JediMasterDaniel96, and you can also follow me on BlueSky, JediMasterDaniel96. Have a great day, and may the Force be with you. Bye, and there's one way out.